Okay, map 3. So map 3 was added later. I released it first of all with only 3 maps, and then a few weeks later I added map 3. What I realised was that I'd had the intention of one of the test maps I've been playing around with was a map using waterfalls, and the mod's called Salvation Falls, but I didn't have any falls in the mod when I first released it, so I had to build a third map and then put them through, and we'll get to the falls later. I guess we'll talk through that in a minute. But what I wanted to do as well was, I'd been on holiday a few years ago. I've been in many caves on holidays as a kid and stuff like that. But a few years back, we went to Spain, and we went to Nerja in Spain. And there's some truly amazing caverns in Nerja. I recommend it if you've never been. If you find yourself in Spain, go to Nerja, see the caves. It's incredible. And I thought that was a very cool, environment to build that I hadn't really seen before. Once again, like tourist caves, and also it sort of fit with the caverns, the falls, because one of the ideas I had about the falls was that they would be waterfalls with caves behind them, and I got that idea from War for the Planet of the Apes, which I love. I love Matt Reeves. I think his Planet of the Apes films are absolutely fantastic, especially Dawn of Planet of the Apes is amazing. And Matt Reeves uses where the apes have their sort of headquarters is headquarters, if apes have that. Their home is hidden behind waterfalls in the thing. So I mean, caves behind waterfalls is a big video game trope. Obviously, there's always hidden rooms and special bonuses and things like that in Shadow Warrior and stuff like that. So it's sort of carrying that tradition. But just the idea as well. What I really like is aesthetic ideas, which also have a gameplay function as well. And the falls really provided a great gameplay function in the fact that you can sort of see through them, but you can't. And you can move through them, and the zombies can move through them. But it's almost like a sort of an obscuring curtain that, a bit like the shrubbery that we talked about earlier, where you can't see through it, but you can move through it. But the falls was just a really good, cool thing. So I know I should call out Oren, who is a mapper and worked on The Last Stand. Very kindly kind of talked me through how he did the falls and made them look good, and I just replicated that. So it's really just building on other people's work, but sort of taking it to an extreme where in The Last Stand there's a waterfall. It's very small, and you can move down it, but you don't move underneath it. There's no cave behind it, and I just basically took it to the next level. So, so what I wanted to do then was really expand out and just give a really dramatic kind of cavern. Now, the only problem with a space like this in Left 4 Dead is that Left 4 Dead, the engine or the director that spawns the bad guys, thrives off of you not being able to see too far ahead, because it spawns zombies behind obstructions, basically. Now, if you look at this space, this is a huge cavern, and I'm starting at the very top, and I'm looking all the way down. So essentially, I'm telling the director, all of these areas are now not, I shouldn't be spawning zombies in because I've already seen them. I'm going to fix this in a script with a script in future, but it is it's just unfortunate. I wanted to start at the top of the cavern. If I started at the bottom, you can imagine you work your way up and you're moving up to levels where you haven't seen them yet, as in visually you haven't seen them. So as a result, it would not, it would spawn zombies all right. But if you start from the top, it's really bad. But I was so enamoured by the idea of turning the lights on and lighting up the cavern and being able to see that as being, here is the space you're about to move through, that I basically didn't. I started at the top anyway. I will fix it because I think it's a bit of a bump. Oh, what a lovely place to spawn a tank. Oh, go away. Doesn't matter, I can't die, but at the same time, I could get thrown off into a death trigger or something. Or just stuck in a place where I can't get out. I suppose I could always no-clip. Okay. So really what I wanted to do with this cabin is do lots of side caves like this so that you would always have sort of zombie spawning and stuff. I didn't get around to it. I ended up just building a relatively straightforward cabin because my focus after a while was really the waterfalls area. Yeah, it was really going to be the highlight of this map. So, but you can see that there isn't really anything spawned here. Look, this whole area is very empty because I've already seen it from up there, and the directors decided not to spawn anything as a result. I really enjoyed. I had these spiral staircases left over from my previous campaign, Grave Consequences, and I really liked sort of taking those spiral staircases and smooshing them into the rocks. So it sort of gives you that half natural, half man-made sort of look and feel to it, which I was quite happy with the result. Like this. Kind of reminded me of Lord of the Rings. That kind of feel is what I was going for, that kind of Bridge of Khazad-dûm thing, which I guess is kind of the Road Bridge as well. And I've heard a few people make that reference in playthroughs, which was very satisfying when I heard that. Wow, that was a hit, wasn't it? Okay. Yeah, the other thing here was just getting the lighting right so that I really have 3 beams that light up the whole cavern. You can see the black roof there. You can see I haven't even bothered to cover the roof with rocks, and it's fades into darkness, but could be a bit better. But yeah, just having these spotlights and then having them light the cavern up is something that I haven't really seen. You don't really see a lot of Source Engine games with people lighting areas up before you get into them, which is a shame because it can do it. Can't really. Yeah, it's a shame because it can do it, but they didn't. And so I really like the idea of having that big sort of dramatic lighting the space up before you head through it, and sort of I think it was more revealing the amazing space you're about to move through. It's amazing. So this cavern's always lit, obviously, because you don't see this, and these beams are really pointing you towards the key sort of areas of the map, if you like. So you've got one beam pointing here where we are. This beam is pointing to the other side of the road bridge, which is the goal where we're supposed to be heading for. And then we've got another beam further on, you see, heading pointing down towards the stairs, which are the way out. So they do have a slight gameplay purpose, sort of guiding the player. How effective they are, I don't know. But it's... well, this should be fun. Watch them tear each other apart. But yeah, I like the rope bridge. Obviously, the rope bridge is straight out of the main game. It's got a nice Indiana Jones feel to it, and Temple of Doom. And yeah, I think it's just exciting. And obviously, it's a choke point once again. It's a narrowing of the play space down to which can cause a few dramas. I didn't really know what else to do with this space. I was a bit, so I thought, well, I'll flood it, and then I can put in some walkways. So it's a bit like Plank Country, I think is what I was going for. So obviously, it's just a little extra thing to think about while you're dealing with the zombies and stuff. Yeah, and so it's a bit of a bunny hop type situation. But you can see, so it does spawn quite a lot here. But you can see how it only spawned them behind things that were hidden behind rocks and where the visibility was broken. And in big areas like this, it only spawns these guys once you get down onto the floor. If we had looked over here earlier, from higher up, we probably would have seen that there was nothing here. And that's to do with how how far away the engine is going to spawn zombies. And you can increase that or decrease it, which is what I'm going to do with the script later, just to fix that problem with no zombies spawning in the caverns. Okay, so we're coming up for our Gauntlet Run. This is a bit of a tricky one. So one thing I learned is that these tooltips are really important, because players, for example, at the train bridge earlier, where the train comes through, didn't understand that the safe room was underneath them, that they had to drop down and then double back of themselves along the tunnel. So it really just guides you into the the playing space you're after. Yeah, I love this gun. And here I had people who thought this was a holdout, that they had to stay in this space, and not realise that they could move through the waterfalls. Even though this waterfall here, you can move through it. The zombies were coming out of the waterfall ahead, and they didn't realise that you could run through that. So I had to, I put this guidance in, but there's a lot of people where English isn't their first language. And I would imagine that some people will still struggle with the idea, not understanding that you can actually run through the waterfalls. I was hoping this waterfall here would give them the impression you could do that, but don't. This is causing havoc. Some people are telling me this is the difficulty in this is perfect. Other people are wow, look at that first hit, that's amazing. Some people are telling me, yeah, this is too hard. Some people are telling me too easy, and that's normally a good sign that it's just right. If you've got some people complaining. You can see how basic this map is as well, like, because people are so focused on what's ahead of them, they're not really looking. These mountains are pretty crappy. There's a few trees, and look, these waterfalls don't make any sense at all. It's like, where's this coming from? You know, there's no natural rock faces like this. But once again, no one's really paying that much attention, so I'm kind of getting away with it. I, could spend a lot more time on it. To be honest, I think people are, really enjoying it as it is. I don't think it's, maybe one day I'll come back and do a bit more, but it would only be for my own benefit, I think. I don't think anyone else would really care that much. There are some people that really care about these things, but I don't know, most people sold it. So yeah, here we go. So we've got the infected, you can't see what's coming, and so as a result, charges and things like that become extra dangerous at this point, and you really sort of, it's amazing how many people are sort of hung back. And so what I'm doing here is at each area, I've built in these spawn areas. So until we pass this bit, that all the zombies are spawning from here. Now they're spawning from the next area. Every time you move past an area, it's going to spawn zombies only in front of you, whatever sort of areas are in front of you. So I think we've just got 2 hunters there. Wow, crazy. Yeah, so cheapest food, and really, I just love the visual aspect of these, of these zombies coming through this waterfall. I thought it was great. So I was really, I had the idea, and then I tried it, and I was so happy with how it turned out that yeah, I really wanted to push it and do 3 or 4 of these. It's yeah, quite a nice idea. So it turned out quite well. I have failed on this area quite a few times, and I have succeeded many times. So it really can go either way, which once again I think is a good sign of an area that's quite well balanced. It's probably longer than most gauntlets. I think someone told me. Come on, guys, help me out. Honestly, it's probably longer than some gauntlets, which some people felt was a problem. Once again, I'm not going to change it. The reason why it's so long though is because I wanted as many waterfalls in it as possible. So I was a big fan of how that turned out. God damn it, coach, come on. Everybody in. Right. Oh, wow. Well, come on, Michelle. In. Okay. Cool. That's that map done. We'll catch up in a minute.